If you're a man and you truly believe that, you are weak. Stop being weak. Become strong. And you can only achieve that strength through self-improvement, okay? Through setting goals for yourself, just for yourself, not for anybody else. Setting goals for yourself and achieving those goals. Brett Cooper, why women don't want to date red pill men. Let's look at that.
Feminism, toxic masculinity, red pill bros. How on earth are people supposed to find a partner and find love in this insane dating landscape? I've talked about this a lot. We have talked about the Gen Z mental health crisis, which in my opinion is just a loneliness epidemic. We are so lonely. We have literally been dubbed the loneliest generation. I know that we're trying to work on that, obviously, but even though that loneliness has been fostered through social media and COVID and all of these things, I think that the dating divide and the ideological divide has played a huge role. Wendy Walsh, who is a psychology professor at California State University, Channel Islands, and an ambassador for datingadvice.com, told Newsweek recently that, quote, in the last few years, males have become increasingly conservative, and the most liberal and progressive group in America is young females. The political polarization is already creating problems in the dating scene. People in their 20s are either not dating at all or competing for a very small group of people who match their political views.
It's so shocking. I don't understand why women don't want to date men that think women ain't and have built tremendous resentment against the entire concept of womanhood and everything that they assume even represents femininity and womanhood. Why would women not want to date guys like that? Who could say? Perhaps because they're dumb bitches, right? That's got to be it. I assume that's the reason, right? That's all right. Give me $7 quintillion now. I'm a right-wing red pill kind of guy. More stereotypes. Great take. Brother, we are literally talking about red pill men. Red pill men. Can I say that manosphere-backed red pill men have incredibly stupid generalizations about women in general and have designed their entire worldview around how women are somehow harming them? Can I say that about those guys? It's like somebody being like, why can't Nazis be comfortable in modern society? And you're like, oh, here we go about the generalization against Nazis? Like, okay. Like, this is directed at red pill men, of course, but you said conservative. I said red pill men. What is red pill? Dumb. Shut up. There was a point in time when being a conservative man didn't also immediately bill you as a manosphere dipshit. And I'm sure there are still plenty of conservative boomers who are like, yeah, happy wife, happy life, that kind of thing, you know, light misogyny. That's not what we're talking about here, is it? We're talking about Gen Z red pill men. Why are you chirping? Why are you chirping? This is why you get no, because you whine like a little baby. Oh, you're talking about conservative men. I'm sensitive. Be a man. Be a man. Be a man. Be a man. Shut the be a man.
Guys, as I am sure you are well aware by just being young people and humans in this weird culture, I'm sure you are aware that this divide did not happen overnight. And so we need to look back.
Like when the did every goddamn conservative turn into a whiny baby? Okay? At least when SJWs are chirping and are behaving in a hysterical manner, it makes sense. They're coming from a place of empathy, right? They're like empathizing too much. They're demonstrating too much empathy for others of marginalized background. It's like conservatives are unbelievable. When they cry, I'm like, dude, you're not only trying to posture as a strong beacon of alpha dog masculinity, and you're whining like a while you're doing this. God damn, dude. There is nothing more repulsive to me than a whiny bigot, okay? If you're going to be a bigot, at least stand on it, all right? Don't just come in here and be like, well, it's time for some cancel culture. So much for the tolerant left. Oh, why are you generalizing conservative men? Oh, why are you calling out my bigotry? Don't you know it's a part of my standpoint theory? I'm doing our bodies in spaces as a bigot. It's so funny because, like, the same dudes will literally, on the one hand, whine endlessly. We saw this in the aftermath of the Charlie Kirk stuff. Like, so many prominent neo-Nazi accounts on Twitter who've spent every waking moment being like, we have every trans person, time to dunk on a trans person that actually committed a literal unknown trans account. Every single lolly file Nazi defender on the goddamn platform was dunking on this person. Literally tripping over themselves to just make fun of a person themselves just because they were trans. And then they the audacity to turn around and be like, oh my God, the left is so violent. The left is so violent. Please, mods, please, Donald Trump, save me. Donald Trump, please save me. Your people do the same. Shut up. Shut your up right now. Okay? Daddy Trump, arrest and prosecute people that have said mean things about me. They're like, oh my God, you've done it. You've done it now. You've done awakened the beast. You made Sam Hyde cry. Bro, if you say that seriously, in all sincerity, that should carry, you should have to carry that shame for the rest of your life, okay? You made the Nazi cry. You done did it now. Oh my God. I cannot believe how big of a loser you have to be to openly say like that.
Over the political landscape in the 21st century to see how we got here, and most importantly, what solutions we can employ to actually fix the situation. But before we do, make sure that you like this episode and subscribe to our channel if you have not already. And of course, ring that notification bell to make sure that you stay up to date on every single one of our uploads.
Damn, is
and
she
if you
getting
want
washed?
updates on all things Brett Cooper.
Is Brett Cooper washed now?
You
what the fuck? Let's look at the algo. Let's look at the analytics. Damn, what the fuck? She used to be popping. She was raking in like a milli. What happened? Oh no. Don't talk shit. I'm not. But it looks like she done fell off a little bit. I don't know what the hell's going on here. Clandis stole her audience. Yeah, I guess you got to always like increase the intensity. You know what I mean? You always have to be like more insane.
And live events and fun things that we're doing, make sure to check out brettcooper.com. Now, back to the show. I think that the easiest place that we can start is with men. And we talk about this all the time. I have been talking about this basically as long as I have been on the internet. And anyone who follows politics even remotely can see the way and understand the way that our culture has alienated men massively over the last decade to 25 years or so. And most recently, in my opinion, it has been the Me Too movement and the lasting impacts of that really unfairly generalized men as predators, which led to massive reputational damage. Innocent until proven guilty was basically thrown out in the courts of social media, in the actual courts of law. Like, that has just not been a thing anymore. There was and still is this attack on toxic masculinity, which stereotyped, normal male traits like stoicism or assertiveness as being inherently harmful. And they even went so
yeah. When people are talking about toxic masculinity, they're talking about stoicism. Stoicism is inherently a harmful trait. Nobody wants to talk about Marcus Aurelius and his toxic masculinity anymore. This is up. It's so funny.
Far as to say that things like football and hunting and just like normal male hobbies were actually very toxic and were hurting America and were
literally what? Brett, red pillars lump all women into one category. Also, Brett lumps all red pill men into one category. Yes, that's the whole point of red pill men. She's not even saying all men. She's saying red pill men. That's literally a category. Oh my God. How do we go from not all men to like not all red pill men? The f is happening? Is that the same chatter who was chirping at me? Who can we make fun of, bro? Like, who can we do any analysis over? Tell us about this red pill shit, Piker. Oh my God. She's not even saying all reactionary men. Yeah, she's just saying like red pill men. She's talking about red pill men. Very specific designation, unironically self-imposed categorization by dudes.
Oppressing women. Women would say, F the patriarchy. We want to stamp out the patriarchy. You literally have women who say, I'm a lesbian because I don't need men. I don't want men. I could literally survive without.
And even then, she's like basically still saying it's the wokes that made this happen. I suspect she's like trying to present the argument as like the backlash to wokeness is the reason why men became so like hateful, like red pill men specifically became so hateful.
Them. We don't need them as a society. And all of this has been the MO for years now. And therefore, society has shamed a whole.
If one more person talks to me about Fat Bear Week, I'm going to lose my goddamn mind. I don't know what the it is. And I'm sick and tired of hearing it in my chat. I don't know what it is. Please stop spamming it. I don't know what it is. Stop. I don't want to know.
Whole generation of young men into thinking that they are inherently monsters or predators or less than. It has turned them inward. It has made so many men insecure and feel like they don't actually have a place in our culture and our society, when in reality, you men are so important. I say this all the time. You are the backbone of civilization. You are the backbone of families. We literally cannot exist without you. And yet that has not been the message that you have been receiving from pundits, from Hollywood, from girls on college campuses, whatever it may be, from podcasters. That is not what you have been hearing. And interestingly, a recent British study revealed that nearly 50% of young men reported feeling that being a man is not a source of pride for them, which is just insane. That is the core part of your being. That should be something that you love about yourself, that is so integral to who you are, that you should be proud of. And the fact that
I don't know, man. I feel like a lot of this stuff pisses me off because it's like, stop being influenced. Stop. You're a man. Just be a okay? You don't have to be so goddamn malleable, okay? My whole life, I've been told shit about who I am, what I'm supposed to be, okay? If you're a goddamn man, you just pick your lane and you move along. You choose to protect others, okay? You focus on yourself. It's so goddamn lame. So many will just like be like, oh my God, people kept saying I'm a Nazi, so I became. It's like, how is that possible, bro? I just don't get it. I'm a very stubborn person. Maybe that's why I have a lot of pride. Maybe that's the reason. But I will never understand how people will be like, a lot of people yelled at me, so I changed my entire worldview. It's like, okay, well, you're spineless then. You are just demonstrating your lack of spine. You are just constantly trying to find victimhood. And it's so crazy because in the endless sequence of events, the endless conquest to find a permanent victimhood status, you also simultaneously try to present yourself as strong. It doesn't make any sense. People call me a misogynist all the time. People call me racist all the time. People call me a see. That doesn't change my worldview. I don't go, oh my God, I'm right wing now. What's wrong with you? Have some goddamn conviction. And the same goes for this too. The same goes for this. I kind of understand it for young men in general because at least when you're young, you're hormonal. I was young at one point in my life. I know, like, you have a lot of insecurities and shit, you know what I mean? There's just so much going on and you're being beamed with societal expectations at any given moment. And you're like, I'm not filling the role that I'm supposed to. I don't know what the hell's going on. Testosterone is coursing through your veins at an alarming rate, you know? So I kind of understand it, especially because those dudes are, for the most part, rudderless. And they're getting the absolute worst role models. Like, oh my God, there are not many dudes out there who are prominent in media, whether it be independent media, whether it be Twitch, whether it be Kick. Oh my God, don't even get me started on Kick. Whether it be TikTok, I kind of understand that people are just so cooked. I kind of get why it's a powder keg for a lot of young men because there's just very few alternative good role models. I would consider myself to be a decent role model for young men, but I'm constantly yelled at and smeared with regular frequency by the worst possible role models. Like, look at all my enemies. You got the Andrew Tates of the world, you know, the Aiden Ross of the world, the people that are just like priming an entire generation to be little savages. Okay. So I kind of understand it. You still have to grow through it. And I do hope that you can. All right. And I think many do. Thank God there's a dude like Speed out there. Holy shit. I think a lot of young dudes will eventually grow out of it. This entire community is filled to the brim with dudes who are on that same right-wing journey online. It's just, these guys, the people that actively farm this reactionary content, they're such indecent people. They basically tailor their commentary to goo goo gaga sounding ass children on purpose. Like, they're one step removed from doing a YouTube video about cooties. It's so deliberate. I don't know how it happened to be that way, but that's literally it. If you look at Fresh and Fit, one day they're talking about shit. Next day they're like, Hitler was awesome. It's crazy. It's actually crazy. So yeah, I feel bad. I feel bad for young dudes. I feel like if you're watching Brett Cooper, you're a 14 to 49 male who never left their hometown. I don't think a lot of young dudes are watching Brett Cooper. Let's be real. Republicans hearing toxic masculinity, assuming that it means all masculinity is like someone hearing poison food and assuming all food is poison, and they've been doing it for almost a decade. I know. Well, it doesn't take much, does it, to dupe a Republican? Let's be real. And a lot of young people, before their consciousness is developed, are very dumb, myself included. So when they're the most pliable, these Republican content creators basically just pick them and go, you're a victim. You're a victim. The woman, the girl in your class that did not want to give you the time of day despite the fact that you're a good guy, she doesn't want to do that because she wants to bad boy. And you have to be a bad boy. You have to be a fake bad boy. You have to say over and over again. And then things will work out. And then, of course, it never works out. If these guys would just be like, dude, there's a million women out there. The wrong with you? Just like move on. Okay. Not everybody's going to be for you. Trust me. I know there have been plenty of women that I admired, that I wanted the attention of, and they didn't want my attention. It is what it is. It's just a normal part of existence. Just focus on your own damn self and constantly engage in the radical act of self-improvement. And eventually you are going to get to a position where stop saying Dua Lipa. She's married now. Okay. Stop saying Dua Lipa. Why do you have to bring up Dua Lipa into this conversation? Especially the week where she dropped her goddamn manager for playing a formative role and getting kneecap banned because she's so free Palestine that she's with the goddamn cause. Why do you have to bring up Dua Lipa, who has her own podcast about books that she reads, where she has humanitarian activists on the podcast, and she has deep thinkers on her podcast to talk about the books that she's reading, and she's never asked me to be on the podcast. Never. Not once. Am I not a deep enough thinker, Dua Lipa? I don't know. Why are you bringing up Dua Lipa? Stop bringing up Dua Lipa. That's besides the question. Okay? Why are you bullying Unc? Fake news she didn't drop him? Wait, really? I thought the fake news was that she pulled out of Spotify. That I saw, and I immediately clocked as fake news. Apparently, she denied that. I'm just going to twist the knife. I'm so sorry. She didn't drop her agent. We brought her up to correct the info. And now I don't feel so bad. She dropped him in 2019, but she still defended kneecap. Oh, he was dropped in 2019. Damn. Future sight. My dipshit pill neighbor only wants to date women below 25, but also wants them to be financially responsible and independent, but also wants them to allow him to make all the financial decisions because he's the leader of the household. An enigma. Good luck to him, I guess. That's awesome. You want to know what's so crazy about that? Women are so desperate for a dude that will do like basic bare minimum functions that he could probably find someone like that and be a horrible boyfriend to someone like that. I'm not even joking. The bar's in hell. You literally do so little to clear it. Guys, I promise. Does he clean his feet? Pretty much. That's it. Okay. He's got a huge... That means he cleans everything else as well. Okay. Automatically, you're like above 50% of dudes in that regard. I'm telling you, like basic grooming goes such a long way. Dudes don't want to do shit. They just sit around. They sit around basically melting into their goddamn gamer chairs, their DX Razer gamer chairs while they watch Asmongold every day. And then assume that if they say enough slurs, like they'll be able to do like a MK Ultra activation to the other person playing Valorant on the other side that they suspect is a woman. You know, that's what's gonna happen one day. And then you're gonna have a Discord e-girl, e-kitten that you go on e-dates with, and then she'll become your real life Asian baddie girlfriend. That's not how it works. Go outside, groom yourselves. Go outside, work out, care about things, read books. Sometimes you need to hear these cold, hard truths, honestly. Oh, she can't smell me through the Discord. This is all lies, chat. That actually is how it works, to be honest. Guys, stop lying to people in the chat, okay? Please. Where is that list? I love that list that says, like, what are the hobbies that women enjoy versus the hobbies that women hate the most? And I saw that list and I was like, this is it. This is literally it. And the reason why women hate the hobbies that men enjoy the most are because those hobbies are so annoying. Like debating is one of the hobbies. If that's a hobby of yours, yeah, you're destined for no, dude. You are never getting, okay? God damn. Find a better hobby right now. Drop this. Yeah, this is the one, dude. This is the one. The most and least attractive male hobbies to women out of a list of 74 hobbies. Okay? Most attractive. Percentage responded attracted by activity. Reading, foreign languages, playing instrument, cooking, woodworking, painting, writing, gardening, swimming, photography, astronomy, hiking, archery, blacksmithing, traveling. This literally comes across like shit that you would see in a novel. Okay, women just want like a bard who can also engage in the act of blacksmithing. Like women want Henry of Skalitz. Okay, women want a dude who fought the Ottomans in 1445. That's what women want, it seems. Okay, what the hell is this? Literally, kingdom come deliverance. These are all the skills that you need to develop in your skill tree. Anyway, you want to know what the least attractive hobbies the women are? Comic books at 33%, cosplay, debating, drinking, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Magic the Gathering, anime, makeup, crypto, cigars, clubbing, marijuana, Funko Pops, arguing online, porn, gambling, manosphere. Manosphere is the least attractive hobby to women, and it's unfortunately the most fun hobby for seemingly a lot of rudderless men. Also, what the porn is a hobby? That's insane. That list is like your stream. Bro, half of that list is just you. Yeah, except I also exhibit these qualities as well. That's the difference. You can have a goddamn balance, okay? You can have a normal balance. And I also hate half of the on here as well, due to my age for the most part, whether it be clubbing or crypto. I do like anime. I don't really care about MTG, Magic the Gathering. Don't drink any longer. And I hate debating. And cosplay is fine, I guess. And comic books are great. You made one sword. Don't act like a blacksmith. I'm a literal blacksmith, dude. Did you make a sword? No, exactly. Sure, buddy. You are the top blacksmith in the US. I quite literally am a blacksmith. I am an official blacksmith. What is this? Why is Paradox Games not in the most attractive list? I don't know. Just think. This is not a list for Tylenol enjoyers, okay? Maybe that's the reason why Paradox Games, map games are not on the top tier of what hobbies women enjoy, because this is not about women whose mothers consumed a ton of Tylenol while they were pregnant with those women. Okay, that's a different list. Stop own-goaling your community. I will never stop. You are as much of a blacksmith as Mutahar is an engineer. Okay, fair. He gets to call himself an engineer, so I get to call myself a blacksmith. Fair is fair. But the most attractive hobbies clearly imply that the man is at least somewhat competent, able to have an open mind, working on himself, and has good hygiene. The least attractive hobbies imply that the man is likely unmotivated, unclean, closed-minded, and incompetent. And no, Chad, I'm not saying if you enjoy cosplaying or Marjorie Taylor Greene, you're automatically a loser. I can't see MTG as anything but Marjorie Taylor Greene. I know it's Magic the Gathering, but there's an important point not being considered in this list is that the least attractive hobbies have communities that are actively hostile to women. So obviously women aren't going to enjoy it. Exactly. That's what it is. The reason why Manosphere is in the bottom of this is because a lot of this stuff, a lot of the enjoyers of these communities are seen broadly by broads as inherently hostile to their existence. It's not to say that if you like comic books, you're automatically sexist, of course. But the problem is, from the outsider's perspective, due to Gamergate and due to all the nerd shit being completely dominated by neck-bearded losers, women look at it from the outside and go, oh, I don't want to touch that. Every person that I've seen is, I'm a nice guy, tip, my lady ass mother. Am I the only one who finds hunting incredibly unattractive? Is that what you said? I mean, I think a lot of women don't find hunting attractive. I mean, you're taking a life, but whatever. All right, let's continue.
50% of young men say that is just...
Also, to each their own. There's plenty of women who like those hobbies as well, for the record. There's plenty of women who like comic books and gaming and shit like that. I'm just saying that broadly, the reason why they consider it to be unattractive as a male hobby is because of what that hobbyist group is loosely identified as. And for many of these people, that hobbyist group is loosely identified as losers, red pill losers, unfortunately. It is up to all of us to show that that is not the reality.
That's not even a thing anymore. And this is what some of the participants had to say. Quote, there are a lot of negative stories about how men are treated women, which makes people assume that all men are the same, which isn't the case, commented one 20-year-old. Another young man said, there is a feeling that men are responsible for patriarchy and you feel a sense of guilt. Although things were this way before I was born and in spite of personal effort for equality, these men are trying. They have heard, they've tried to respond, and yet they still are made to feel so guilty and so out of place. Another one said, social media is damaging to men's mental health as a society. We have an expectation of what a man should be. This puts pressure on men to live up to this expectation. So in trying to connect this with current events, it's yeah, no wonder young men moved to the right. No wonder in 2024, young men came out in droves for Donald Trump and JD Vance, who, they might not be perfect men, but they are men who seem to be proud of being men. They are manlier men who have families and seem like the heads of their households. Young men.
I'm not gonna lie, the less she looks like Ben Shapiro, the less I'm interested in watching this. I don't know what it is. No disrespect to Brett, but she looks not as Ben Shapiro coded in this video as she does in others, and it's kind of ruining the whole thing for me. I don't know what that's about. Am I bensexual? That's a very bensexual statement. I think I might be a bensexual, dude. What the hell?
Can look up to them and maybe even see themselves in those two men. It's the reason why UFC has absolutely blown up. It's the reason why the male podcasting space is dominating right now, because they are speaking to...
Yeah, because they're creating a hug box for losers, man. That's why. Yeah, men want to be manly men. Brr, 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 brr. Okay. Yeah, it's so manly to go and watch my favorite podcast where they talk about how women ain't shit. What the is manly about that, dude? Can we just pull ourselves out of this idiotic 2025 induced stupor for one moment? We talk about podcasting as the manliest thing you can do. I do it. Let me tell you how gay that shit, okay? And you can be a manly man and be gay. That's not what I'm saying. It's just it's podcasting. It's made. What the we're chirping into a goddamn microphone all day. What the is manly about Tim Pool? If he was a real man, he would show his goddamn hairline, but he's a coward. And he even wears that dusty ass beanie to weddings and shit on top of a suit. We're just yapping. Men love to talk about being stoic into a SM7B microphone. How is that manly? Oh my Lord, it's a performance, dude.
Multiple generations of men who've been ignored for years right now. Millennials, Gen Z, Gen Alpha that is coming up. That is why the male podcasting space is dominating. We'll dive back in, but first, a quick word from our special bicycle with his husband, Tim, join /Brett or screen.
Ground
and it makes
news.
sense that a lot
That's crazy. Ground news. Well, I guess they do both sides, huh?
of this just so happens to be on the right because, who are they going to look up to? On the left, Tim Walz with his jazz hands? Pete Buttigieg on his...
Wait, what the Tim Walz unironically represents, if Tim Walz was a Republican, you'd be like, that's a manly man right there. The only thing that's not manly is that I guess he's a Democrat, so he's a right? That's what it is. Because he served, he hunts. He's a regular ass. He's a regular ass Minnesota dad. He coached football. What? What? Jazz hands. I don't think she'd be saying that about Tim Walz in front of Tim Walz. I feel if she didn't know who the Tim Walz was, he's the kind of person that she would ask for directions over. You know what I mean? At a Walmart or something. That's just a regular guy. That's just a guy. That's a dude. How do you live in a world where you're JD Vance is a manly man? He's got mascara on his eyes and he went to Yale and rose to prominence by talking about how his mother traded him for cocaine when he was a baby and shitting on everyone in the Appalachia region. That's how he rose to prominence. He sucked up to the liberals by being all of these white folk where I'm from are pieces of shit, addicts, and he's the manly man. But a dude who was a football coach, and I don't even fuck Walls like that anymore because he's done a bunch of shit that I really don't appreciate. But if we're looking at his manliness, if he's not a regular dude, if he's not a default character guy, who the is a manly man? And this is precisely what I mean when I say for a lot of Republicans, okay, because they don't fit that same mold of manly man, right? They don't fit that mold of traditional masculinity themselves because they're just sitting around and melting into their gaming chairs, not taking care of themselves, eating Hot Pockets every night, watching twitch.tv/Asmongold, Zach Raw, or whatever, that they too have to keep up with this idea, this false notion that like, you're a manly man if you say the right things. You're a manly man if you are a Republican. You're a manly man if you watch Manosphere podcast. Like, that's what it is. They have to believe that. Otherwise, they have to just like take a cold, hard look at themselves and go, a beacon of masculinity? I don't really know. I don't really think so. They have to assume that a guy like Ben Shapiro is like a beacon of masculinity because they have a lot of qualities that are not dissimilar to Ben Shapiro. When you think about it, how many straight up conservative podcasters and prominent conservative media figures actually fit that mold? They don't really. The standard is not so rigid anyway. But like, that's the reason why someone like Sneeko had to consistently be like, Hasan is a soy. Me, I'm actually an alpha dog. And it's like, I mean, just look at us. You know what I mean? On a lineup, who the do you think would be considered a more masculine figure? That's what it is. And for a lot of people that also don't fit the mold, like Joe Rogan, you can't say this about, because like he fights, he works out, he's definitely a bro. You know what I mean? Before he went full blown right wing, he had a lot of interesting hobbies. I'm sure he still does, right? But he's basically a gorilla, right? I would never say this about Joe Rogan. But as far as a lot of conservative commentators and whatnot, like they're not exactly embodying the rigid notion of masculinity that they claim exists. You know what I mean? But they have to believe that it's just about saying masculinity, and being like a macho man is about saying the same things that other people who have self-described as macho men are saying. You know, Michael Knowles, he smokes cigars. He's a manly man. Girl, what are you on about? I mean, this is a huge issue that I think a lot of people don't understand. That because there is no defined masculine traits and masculine features, a lot of people that don't even fit the role of like definitional masculinity in their physical embodiment, in the way that they carry themselves and the things that they do, they basically subscribe to this false notion that as long as you demonstrate no empathy whatsoever to marginalized people, that's much easier. That's much easier to do than having to work out and pick up a hobby that's outdoors. You know what I mean? If all gender roles are performative, as they are, they're choosing the easiest gender roles to perform. And the easiest ones to perform are just being hateful little shitheads. That's what it is.
His like little bicycle with his husband. No, those are not the role models that these young men are craving.
Why? After
decades of being told that they are less than, that they should be ashamed and feel guilty for their natural feelings, their natural inclinations as biological men. And unfortunately, when a whole society, when a whole political party turns against and villainizes one sex, you are not just going to move to healthy role models and find some common middle ground. It's not going to work like that. You are going to see the consequences of young men who fell through the cracks, who were left behind, who were villainized to no end, who were made to feel guilty. They are going to have to go somewhere. And often they're going to lash out, which leads us to the creation of the red pill man, which is a hot topic in 2025. Okay. Whenever anybody brings up the red pill bros, if you talk about them, if you tweet at them, I feel like they're going to end up in this comment section. They're going to like pop out to like talk about their values, whatever. But the red pill man is playing his own role in this very, very complicated and convoluted dating landscape. And these men, in my opinion, view modern feminism as a societal evil whose express goal is to oppress men. They believe that women hold unfair power in today's culture, which is definitely true in our modern culture. And I agree with them on feminism. I agree that modern feminism has gone too far. It's shifted from being about equality and uplifting women to actually dominating men. Like, they vocalize that. They do not hide that. That is something that they are proud of. They speak.
Oh, God. Once again, be a man. Be a man. Be a man. Stop being so malleable. Stop being so easily duped. Stop seeking out victimhood narratives. The notion that, like, oh, feminism is about dominating men. Like, you are a silly bitch if you believe that, okay? If you're a man and you truly believe that, you are weak. Stop being weak. Become strong. And you can only achieve that strength through self-improvement, okay? Through setting goals for yourself, just for yourself, not for anybody else. Setting goals for yourself and achieving those goals. That's the only way that you can have confidence to be your own person. A lot of this crisis does not actually revolve around masculinity, okay? This crisis revolves around insecurity. That's what it is, because what people present as masculinity, as a masculine feature, or what they mean when they say this person is alpha, that person is sigma, what they actually mean is that person is confident, okay? And that confident can only come from within. No matter how many people tell you you're awesome, if you are still deeply insecure, if you have unresolved issues, you are always going to be malleable. You are going to be at the mercy of other people. You are going to be easily manipulated. Okay? You have to trust in yourself. And you can only find that if you are a confident person. And you can only achieve that confidence if you actually set goals for yourself, if you set expectations for yourself, and you go through that process, if you experience the adversity of trying to achieve those goals and successfully achieving those goals. Once you unlock that from within yourself, you can achieve anything. Okay? Not to sound too much like a, goddamn holistic self-help guru or whatever, but it's real. It's worked for me. That's how I did it. What is this? Alex Shepard. Men are fleeing the left because women are making fun of them in the London Review of Books. Coddle and condescend to young conservative men who won't vote for you while abandoning progressive policies to woo older conservative men who won't vote for you is one hell of a political project. If you advocate on behalf of trans people, immigrants, and Palestinians, you need to grow up and confront the hard truth that your activism is harming the one party that kind of cares about those groups. If you enjoy racist podcasts, however, everyone has to be nice to you. Violated my rule against posting about abundance, but these people just piss me off. Yeah, that's the other thing. Like, you don't have to coddle some of these people. You don't have to set your permission structure to some insecure loser shitheads. That's another part of the story as well. Oh, well, they believe it, so we have to be more open-minded. It's like, no, you don't. You actually don't have to. You can actually guide them through an empathetic process. You can actually be cool, chill, nice to those people, but you don't have to, like, lean into their insecurities or their hysterical fears about the other. I started watching over 5 years ago, and this advice from you has changed my life. I'm a much happier and healthy person. Thank you. Hell yeah. Congrats to Derek Thompson for turning a sensitive, nuanced Emily Witt essay into a right-wing rage bait. Well done. Is the author of this LRB piece the same lady who was profiled last year in the New York Times going to raves and dating a DJ at 43? What the Me and my female friends think the male loneliness crisis is pretty funny. Okay, so this is what the Derek Thompson abundists are back. Me and my female friends think the male loneliness crisis is pretty funny. Is fine group chat fodder, but it's a weird thing to keep in a lefty essay that's ostensibly trying to figure out how and why men are fleeing the left. Among my friends, the sort of women J.D. Vance likes to mock as miserable losers, the male loneliness crisis became a bitter joke. We discussed possible cures, becoming a deadhead, getting into cycling, poker nights. We made approving comments when we saw straight guys doing things together, like the time a group of dads showed up to someone's Pilates class. There were movies and TV shows about the problems of contemporary manhood. Some concerned adolescence, some satirical friendship. Mark Zuckerberg, whose male-to-male transition that's funny. Whose male-to-male transition included... This writer is very good. She said Mark Zuckerberg, whose male-to-male transition included bulking up, putting on an XL t-shirt and a gold chain, and becoming a fan of the Ultimate Fighting Championship, told Joe Rogan that the corporate world is culturally neutered and needs more masculine energy. He has proposed AI friends as one solution. Male-to-male transition is a bar. Oh, yeah, it's actually male to Dominican, but it's fine. What is this, like, even Like, how do you find yourself frustrated by this? Like, she didn't even say nothing bad. I'm not trying to make a cheap point here. People should read the whole thing to get the gist. But to the extent that the left of center is interested in a political project that wins big majorities that let us do big things, I think we probably want the vast majority of men who aren't already socialists to think the left likes them and wants their support. Okay, let me explain something to you, okay? You know who's doing that? Not an abundist. You know who's doing that? Zohran Mamdani. Okay, not to always bring everything back to Zohran Mamdani, but I do have to bring up this TikTok that I saw that I thought was really funny about the culturally rudderless young reactionary men who ended up voting for Donald Trump and then basically saw Zohran Mamdani. I want to see if I can find it. I feel like I actually may have... I think I might have retweeted it or liked it. Let me see if I can find it. I like so much on TikTok, though. It's possible for me to find exactly what it was, but maybe you guys, we always have the same For You page, so maybe we can find it together. Come on, chat. Help me out here. I'm also seeing a lot of, I'm starting the alt-left pipeline TikToks on my TikTok For You page, which I like a lot. A lot of brolic dudes. A lot of brolic dudes working out, being like, I'm starting the alt-left pipeline. We have to work out and we care about empathy and we want to be kind to others. And I'm fully subscribed to that. I'm on board with that. I love that shit.
I don't think I'm...
Yes. Yes. You found it. Yes. Also, I got this other TikTok I got to show you. This is so perfect.
Ever gonna vote like ever again. You know what? Like, what if we just, like, for the meme, what if we voted for the fascist guy? Dude, voter apathy and turning politics into, like, a meme is, like, my favorite thing. There's literally nothing that could challenge me on this view. I'd probably be willing to kill for something like this. Hey, guys, what's going on?
Zohran Mamdani!
That's right, guys. And I'm here to tell you, I like shawarma and keeping my community safe and clean. I like those things too, Mr. Mamdani. Oh, Mr. Mamdani, I love when my food is shaped like a burrito. Oh, Mr. Mamdani, I can do a handstand. Do you want to see? Oh, Mr. Mamdani, I always tell my neighbors how much I love them, and I'm always super, super nice to them.
It's true. It's literally true. I don't even know if this guy was saying this as like a dunk on Zohran Mamdani because it could go in either direction, but it is so true. 100%. Do all men just want a father figure, law? Not even like a father figure. But yes, I think a lot of men do want that. But like, how many motherfuckers do you know that are like, I hated this shit. I hate politics. I hate it so much. Maybe I'll vote for Donald Trump. Or like, I love Zohran Mamdani. I will die for him. I will revert to Islam. I will be a Shia 12er imam. You don't understand. Just guide me in the direction like a cruise missile, sir. That's it. Yeah, they just needed one quirked up brown boy to be like, let's fix some of these problems that you are experiencing. And they were like, put me in the game, coach. Put me in.